Just had the toss of the coin, won by that man, Mark Bickley. And the Crows will run left to right. The umpires tonight, number 1, David Howlett. Plenty of experience. Number 7, Hayden Kennedy. Where is he? Lurking back there. And number 12 is Mark Prince. The 3 men in charge tonight. So the stage is set down on the boundary this evening. Neil Curley and Adrian Barrage. Good evening, gentlemen.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dennis. Well, conditions down here are cold, but no breeze at all. A little bit of dew falling on the grass, so there will be some ball handling mistakes, and it will certainly favour the player who's prepared to put his body over the ball. But Aid, I believe you're in the Eagles' room, and she's
they are pumped up. And Kills, you said cold. It's like playing in a freezer out here. It's unbelievable. But the Eagles are pumped up. Kills, I reckon your blokes early are going to be in a bit of trouble.
Well,
these guys are ready to go. They're going to suck in the booze of the crowd and just get over the top of them, I think.
Well, I got real news for you, pal. The Crows over there, there's feathers flying everywhere. It should be a tough game, and I'd expect a very tired opening.
Oh, well, who will suck in the booze later tonight? That's the question. Who will be celebrating? The Adelaide Crows of the West Coast Eagles, as we said at the outset, very tight on this league ladder. So much to play for and so little margin for error. Big roar around this great stadium, and we're set to go. What about a selection along the table? Firstly, Tim?
Well, I'm going for the Adelaide Crows tonight. I just think that they'll hold sway in the midfield and they'll have the forward line capable of kicking enough goals.
Matty?
Yes, I tend to agree with Tim, Dennis. The return of Robert and Jamison to the side and the home ground advantage enough to get them over the line in a fantastic contest.
First bounce at Football Park, and it's a beauty. Straight up, Pittman up early, taps it down wide of the pack. Connell missed it. Grigic thumps it out. Hetty slid in there. Bickley is slung, got it to the boot though. Kemp hurriedly alongside the centre circle towards centre half forward. Loose ball, Evans onto it, in trouble. Jarman's got it, slips it away. Hart, the hurried kick up towards the wing, drifting back towards the centre square in fact, taken by Robin. Away it comes to Rashudo, penetrating kick, deep into attack. Stanfield almost on the ground, found it, kicks a goal. Great stuff.
That really was terrific play then by the Adelaide Crows, and we'll see Stanfield on screen there. He's been a goal kicking forward for the Crows, but just this is where Robin made trouble Jakovic. He's not afraid to lead up to the ball, get the ball up quick, and that long kick to the top of the 10-metre squares we've seen so often from the Adelaide Crows this year. And smart work from Stanfield. He's a tall man, and if the ball does hit the deck, Turnbull may struggle a little bit just to get back on the ball quickly enough.
Well, the Adelaide Crows were just the start they were looking for, and Matthew Robin already into the game, and his other tall forward, Stanfield, the man with the goal. There's the knockdown. Grigic, kick out of the quickly by Braun inside the 50. Leading in the race to the ball is Hart. Unsure of what to do, is dispossessed. Ball has run over the boundary line for a throw-in, 60 metres around from the West Coast goal. Nicholas Stone into the side, centre half forward. Tim, a couple of new forwards, really. A new look forward line for West Coast.
Yes, there's no doubt about that, Matty, but they do have to do something. They've got to try and get themselves some goal-kicking power up forward.
Boundary throw in, just outside the 50. Pittman, stolen by Kemp. Kemp right on the 50, pulls it back towards the middle, favoured by the kick McLeod. Plays on, away they come, out of defence, Allen. Pittman, on the overlap, Rashudo sends play towards half forward. A lot of body work down there. Another player cuts the ball. Grigic held his ground well. Releases Matera. Tucks the ball under one arm initially. Storms through midfield. A couple of bounces. Kicks it out wide. Well done. Hetty's got it. Brett Hetty. Outside the 50. There's Tony Evans up ahead. Hetty with the dancing eyes. There's Spinks. Hetty goes for distance eventually, down towards the kickoff line. Donnelly up in front. Hart did well, slipping over Spinks. Gets it across to Evans. Can they manufacture something off the ground? Strong tackle on Connell, got him down. Too high, says the umpire.
Matt Connell will take the kick back in the side after playing with his local club, West Adelaide. Hands off to Hart. Hart with time. Risky and doesn't pay off. Another boundary throw-in for the West Coast. Michael Braun. Looks like he has a job on Mark Bickley. Interesting tussle there. Boundary throw in, West Coast forward line. Pittman back in the ruck after a stint at centre forward last week. Down to Bickley. Pittman with quick hands. Ends up with Smart. Smart to clear. Gives it off to the run there of Hart, who's having a good start to the game. Kick. Slipping over at the wrong time there was Tim Cook, his first game back. It ends up on the outer side. And a mark there to Tony Evans. Tony Evans, dual premiership player. Looking for options up forward. Decides to go short. Good vision, and that's a good mark by Spinks.
That'll be a good duel there between Spinks and Jamieson. Evans doing the right thing. He just held his kick, just waited for the lead to come. And Jamieson, who was guarding the space out from the 10 metres square, just gave Spinks enough space to lead into. He really was just guarding that sweet spot at the top of the 10-metre square. And Spinks just drifting off to his left.
Tim, they've had 2 set shots just outside the 50, and both times both players have held it up waiting for that option, haven't they? Brett Spinks. 35 metres out, directly in front. And the crowd tells you he's pushed it right. The minus score results.
Well, we saw them get off to a start similar to this last week. The West Coast Eagles missing their chances early. Last week it was Fraser Gehrig, and they really do count in a low-scoring game. Probably only 12 or 13 goals kicked by either side tonight. You really do need to make those chances within 40 metres count.
Well, Jamieson coming back off a knee injury, short. This is Hart in the pocket. Ben Hart. Towards half-back, plenty of Eagles around the ball, 2 of them flew. As a result, nothing good came of it. Caven hurriedly up towards the wing. Young Cook, nicely done at close quarters. Smart, looping hand pass. Bounces obligingly for Connell. Connell on the outer side, back towards centre half forward. Vardy was in front, knocked away. Onto the loose ball is Smart, runs to the 50, releases Costa. Costa goes down and gets it from 25. The Crows have got a flyer. I guess it's fair to say Malcolm Blaney is one man who should have plenty of respect for the West Coast Eagles.
We just expect, and no doubt get, a tougher opponent. And I know what our players like after us.
Well, the Adelaide Crows would be extremely happy, as we see one of their fans on screen there. He's extremely happy with the way they worked that ball forward and the numbers they got at the ball. That was the telling factor in the end, was Smart just running straight down the central part of the ground and feeding off, and intelligent play just to get it over to Costa for finish.
Actually, we saw the face of Michael Malthouse talking about coming off a loss and coming up against the Adelaide Crows. Pittman slaps it out.
Comes to Bond. Bond with a clever handball finds Costa again. Costa, an awkward-looking kick deep into the forward line. McIntosh first to find it. Handball's out there to the run of Simmons. Simmons on the outer side. Gets some support, decides to take a bounce, but then goes short and finds Schofield. Schofield, clever work, again with a bounce, draws the player but doesn't succeed, and good pressure by the Crows, and the umpire decides to ball it up. Adrian Barrett down on the boundary.
He kills is driving me mad down here after those 2 goals, but some midfield matchups for you. Michael Braun and Bickley. Costa's got material actually, and he's causing a bit of trouble at the moment. And Banfield's got the job on Rashudo.
Ball up, a bad bounce by the umpire, and an easy one for Simmons to knock it over so they can restart and set up where they want to. Crows off to a good start here. A large crowded football park on a cool night. Boundary throw in, Pittman, Grigich, Pittman again. Connell off the ground, in front again was Bond. Plays for the free, nothing coming. Vardy, quick kick forward. Into the pocket. Again McIntosh leads out. And again run over the boundary line by Bickley.
Nigel Smart getting into the action early in this game. He's actually playing on Schofield. Schofield's lining up as a half forward, but pushing right down the ground, bringing Smart into the play.
Simmons, is he taken high? Play goes on. Turnbull, mammoth kick around the outer side. It covers the wing. Donnelly, brilliantly done. Runs on immediately. Too much carry on the kick down there for Spinks. Showed too much of it to Jamieson, and Jamieson gets it across the line. Good defence. The West Coast Eagles springing out of defence to attack there and doing it well. So a throw in. right full forward for the West Coast Eagles, who trail by 11 points early going. Pittman and Spinks into their double act very early there, leaning on each other. Braun dives on top of it, held up, and a bounce about 35 metres out from the attacking goal for the Eagles. Braun, the youngster, doing very well. There's the forecast. It's cool. Grigic knocks it down. Hart, heady, trying to hack it out of mid-air. Plenty of Eagles around the ball. Evans down over it. Braun high up and under, but he crossed the boundary line, so it will be thrown in.
And there's one matchup out there at the moment that I think the West Coast Eagles will be pretty happy with. Kemp appears to be going with Darren Jarman, and Kemp may be able to hurt the Adelaide Crows on the way back.
Comes down to McLeod, trying to get free, can't. Scrimmage of players. McLeod thinks about going off the ground. Umpire says no. And another ball up in the identical spot. West Coast bench. Philip Matera, Josh Wooden and Chris Waterman, one of the veterans of the West Coast side. Pittman again, this time Spinks with a punch. Donnelly in front, gets one a bit high from Ben Hart. The umpire agrees, the crowd doesn't. And Donnelly will take a shot.
There's no doubt about that. It was over the shoulder then by Ben Hart, just a little bit careless, but not an easy shot here. The West Coast Eagles being forced into the pockets.
Andrew Donnelly on a tight angle for the West Coast, first goal of the evening, and again to the right-hand side, this time far too far, out of bounds on the fourth, and Darren Jarman to get amongst the kicks for the evening. Will take the kick. Darren Jarman, or as he likes to be known as Fudd, after Elmer Fudd, kicks long, outside the 50, Grigic and Pittman. Infringed is Grigic, and he'll take the kick.
He likes Fudd.
He likes Fudd.
Grigic on the outer side then. Back inside the 50. McLeod got it best off the boot. In front, the place to be. Away to Connell. Connell high towards the outer side. McKenna worked out of it by Bond. Applies a strong tackle. There's Schofield close to the boundary line. McKenna tracks it across. It'll be thrown in. 12.5 minutes till quarter time. And McKenna, averaging 16 possessions a game this season. Another consistent season for him. 17 a game last year, 16 the previous year. Pittman slung down. We'll have a bounce on the outer side wing. A little bit dewy, a little bit slippery, but very still. Pittman works in front. Grigic, smart, third man in the queue, down to Fudd. He kicks it out towards the boundary and it runs away.
Dennis, you just get the feeling this game is just waiting to explode. It's a cautious start, isn't it?
Yep, very much so.
Outer side, a boundary throw-in. Again, Pittman, Grigic. Both tended to win that. It ends up with Braun. Braun with a quick kick up forward. Donnelly and Hart. Hart's been good early. Goes through Donnelly's hands. Hart is equal to it. Picks it up well. It's a good start by Ben Hart as he chips short. Another player going to ground, so it is slippery. Kemp back to Bluey McKenna. He gives it up to Grigic. Grigic with support. Kicks long. Dropping back well, though, is Rob Jamison. And one of the flying eggs from the Adelaide side takes the mark. Gives it up to another one in McLeod, who's having a good season at half-back. Over to Matty Connell. Former best and fairest. Kicks it up long. Adelaide have a choice of two. Costa has caught back into it and drops what he should have taken. Able to recover. Matera does well, but Costa, great recovery. Off to Tim Cook. Cook up forward looking for Rockland on a lead. Rockland marks outside 50. A good build-up by the Crows. Rockland will chip short to Caven, who's run all the way down from centre half back. He's deep in the pocket. He is a right footer. Swings back to the head of the square. Stanfield is outnumbered. Coming over the top, McKenna punches down. Here's a chance for Vardy. He likes to kick goals. He swings back, but it's come undone, and Drew Banfield will clear for the West Coast.
Smart left it behind. Schofield only as far as McLeod confronted. Somehow got through. Well, almost. Came back to Evans, who didn't want it. They had a bounce about 60 metres out from Adelaide's attacking goal. Adelaide, plenty of the ball, as you can see. Hand and foot, bad bounce. McKenna dragged off it. Blurton, nicely done. Simmons broadens things. Jakovic comes away, kicks it out very wide towards the outside wing. Donnelly approached that one cautiously. Jarman runs onto it. Hart nicely done. Costa comes away, prods it up towards half forward. Bond has got it now. Bond outside half forward. Back to Jarman. Hart against the line. Made it awkward for themselves there. McKenna stood his ground, takes the mark. Wants to go. Across the ground, the old firm, McKenna to Matera. One bounce up towards the wing. Some indecision now. Good finish though. Another veteran. Brett Hetty. Matera wants it on. This will be interesting. Hetty put the ball into the path of Matera, who showed great courage. Spinks unfortunately slipped over for them. And McLeod gets back and will tidy it up. Half chance goes begging for the West Coast Eagles, but not a bad idea.
Rashudo and Tony Modra has chased all the way down and tackled Matera, now finds himself in unaccustomed territory in the back line as Rashudo goes long towards Pittman. Spoiled by Grigic. Down was Banfield. Bit untidy, but Braun's still with it. He slips over once again. Recovers towards the danger zone. Going hard and taking a terrific mark was Connell. And a confidence builder for Connell back in the side. That's just what he needs. And he's got Peter Caven. Adelaide will break clear now, straight down the middle of the ground. Caven, Vardy in front, takes it on his chest. Modra's not back there yet. Vardy's got Stanfield, his only option. Turnbull the spoil. Braun again, good tackle. Comes to Simmons. Adelaide applying the pressure, end up with it. And Darren Jarman with some time. Jarman now. Can he manufacture something special? He's decided to have a go himself. Jarman. And unfortunately couldn't finish off with what he wanted to.
A bit untidy in the end, but he really had no one to go to. All the Adelaide players had pushed up the ground, and the West Coast Eagles players were first to get back there, and they'd blocked all avenues to goal.
Lurton to Morrison. Morrison out of the back pocket, sends play towards the outside wing. Jakovic had it knocked away by Robert. Wren took it. Hand passes nicely. Hart gathered the ball to Connell, who's been industrious. Connell down towards half forward, turns it over. McKenna gets back. The back line is under pressure at the present time. Kemp forward of half back towards half forward. Adelaide in best position. McLeod doing very well. So is Smart. This is Jamison. Jamison comes away. Chips it in short again. They give it away. Banfield, can he punish them on the rebound? Gets it across to Spinks. Spinks 75 metres from goal. No one in the square. Goes for distance. Grigic lumbers back with him as Wren. Grigic almost got fingertips to it. Slaps it out wide. McLeod again. He's been everywhere. Gets it across to Hart. Hart races across the goalpost. Rashudo. He sends play towards the outer side. The mark is held by Jarman. That was ambitious. Kemp read it from the moment he got the ball. In comes Simmons. He's grabbed by the shorts. He's going to get a free kick. Simmons on the outer side wing. Goes down towards half forward. Donnelly on the lead. But the ball, I think, will come back.
West Coast Eagles just can't find anyone across half forward. They really are breaking down there. The Crows rebounding and setting up play from that particular part of the ground.
Dean Kemp's kick's cut off by Caven. It ends up with Jamison. Caven the quick kick. Connell, a good start towards centre half forward. Robin a terrific mark in front. And that's a fantastic battle we'll see all night, Robin and Jakovic. At the moment, Robin with a good start. Goes long, it's 2-on-2 up forward. It's Stanfield and Modra. Turnbull, ball comes to ground. Recovery skills required. Blurton misses it. Tim Cook, quick hand off to Sean Wren. Sean Wren off one step. And unfortunately, Sean Wren off one step. It's not your best option in front of goal. And out of bounds on the full is the net result. Turnbull will kick in for the West Coast Eagles. Adelaide by 11 points. 6.5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. We estimated that goals would be hard to come by, and it is proving that way, especially for the West Coast Eagles. Turnbull will go long. Grigic is target. Wren is there. Rashudo working hard underneath. Eventually ends up with it and gives it off to Jarman. Jarman with skill finds Robin again.
That's Robin's fourth mark. That's the type of player that Glenn Jakovic does have trouble with. He's not trying to out-muscle him in a one-on-one duel. He just continually pushes up to the ball to provide that shorter target. And on a number of occasions, as we've already seen, the Adelaide Crows have pinpointed their passes to him.
Robin From 55 then, that's a magnificent kick. There we go, very well. Alarm bells are sounding for the West Coast Eagles.
Adelaide have had plenty of the ball. They just haven't been really able to hurt the West Coast Eagles on the scoreboard. On this occasion, though, we see the ball coming out. Play almost stopped here. A late handball to Jarman and just picking Robin off beautifully. And Djakovic is going to have to reassess the way that he plays this player, because he does push up into the play.
So the margin at 17 points now. Eagles still goalless. Grigic with a kick down towards half forward. Smart has been terrific off half back though. Controls it well. Kicks towards half forward. Robin came at it hard. Suckers off the ground. He'll take that. Not a bad result. And a throw in. A sense of deja vu. Malcolm Blight, as I mentioned earlier, one man who should have plenty of respect for the West Coast Eagles.
Yeah, they've been a fantastic team for, well, probably 8 or 10 years now, haven't they? And couple of premierships, and about in the same spot we are. You know, that bit of inconsistency throughout the year, but not far away.
Jarman working a 1-2 with number 2. That's Cook who heads for home. It's bending back. McIntosh claims he touched it, and he did.
Tim Cook back into the side for the Adelaide and almost getting his first goal. Ashley McIntosh, marvellous athlete. Adelaide doing all the attacking.
They're really throwing the ball about, aren't they? They have had almost as many handballs as they've had kicks in this first quarter.
McIntosh will go to the pocket, finds Kemp. Kemp plays on. The grandstand wing to Peter Matera. Good strong mark, Matera, in front of his tag tonight, or his partner, Kim Costa. One of the great players of the AFL game, Matera, looking for Banfield. And Ben Hart, who's had a magnificent start, just getting enough on that to put it out of bounds. Hart already with 7 possessions in this first quarter. Neil Curling.
Yeah, the difference between the two sides at the moment is the defence. The Adelaide defence is completely on top of their West Coast forwards.
Wren on the ground. Banfield industrious off the ground. Another clever tap. Ends up with Donnelly. Now Donnelly goes long. It's one-on-one up forward. Jamison and Spinks. Spinks makes front position. Can't mark the quick handball. Good pressure by Jamison. Terrific work by Matt Connell. He's had a terrific start, as we said, and he'll clear for Adelaide.
9 possessions for Connell to Costa. Costa from half back. Probing kick up towards the wing. Off hands. Morrison first back. In trouble. 3-on-2 here favouring the Crows. Banfield gone from the moment he went back. Free kick to Vardy. Jamison's run on. In fact, it'll be taken by Smart, and that saved the Eagles a little. Short one is on to Wren. Wren marks. Runners alongside. In front, they're everywhere. Modra's got it. Whoa. The Eagles need to be careful here. Players running down the ground, streaming down unchecked.
Yeah, there's some really worrying signs at this early stage for the West Coast Eagles. And most of it's being caused by the fact that they can't get across half forward.
Tony Modra trying to bend it back, not quite enough. Behind. 58 goals for this season. It's Malcolm Blight. Ashley McIntosh.
To try once again for the West Coast Eagles. Adelaide on top, having most of the ball. Again to the grandstand side.
Oh.
Wooden on the ground. Can't mark it. He's outnumbered 2-1. I think he'll be content that he is to run it over the boundary line to enable his teammates to give him some support. Josh Wooden.
Well, the problem the West Coast Eagles have got is they're getting the ball down into their forward line, but the Adelaide Crows defenders are just winning so many of the one-on-one duels, and the ball's just coming back, which causes the West Coast Eagles players who have run into the forward line to be offside, and Adelaide have got the numbers on the way back.
Boundary throw in. Jarman diving on the ball. A ball up will result. Yes, it really is the half-back line of Adelaide at the moment, who are playing at will and setting up Adelaide up forward through Robin. Just over 3 minutes remaining. Adelaide in control by 19 points. Centre wing. Wren and Grigic. Wren takes it almost out of Grigic's hands. Brilliant skill there by Jarman. Just enough to get it forward. And another boundary throw will result.
And Wooden, who has just come onto the ground, has gone down to pick up Matty Connell. And obviously, Mick Malthouse concerned with the numbers of possessions that Matty Connell's got in this first quarter.
Tossed in. Bickley in close, did well. Matera, and now Jakovic has had his problems. Oh, and a bit happened behind play there. Grigic again, left to hold his head. Heady meantime across to Banfield. Banfield down towards half forward. Spinks almost bounced off his chest. McLeod, brilliantly done. He's had a term and a half combining with this man. The turf is flying. Smart comes away, kicks it towards the outer side. Morrison leads in the race out there. Barty bearing down, and out she goes. So McLeod 10 possessions already, and Smart, I thought he's had more than that, but...
And Hart also across half back there, Dennis. They've had plenty of the ball, haven't they, in this first quarter?
Yeah.
And that running has been a feature from there.
Smart at 7. It's not bad. Bond inside the 50, Stanfield on his chest. Barry Stanfield directly in front. He'll kick from about 40. Played only 3 games for Footscray last season. Troubled by an Achilles problem. 21 goals this season, including 2 bags of 5 against Brisbane in round 1 and the Bulldogs in round 5. Very handy acquisition. This to hurt the West Coast Eagles still further. Away to the right. Modra keeps it in, close to the boundary line. Jakovic comes away, has the bounce. Across the goal face, in short, Burton, back to Jakovic. Kept their composure pretty well. 2-on-1 to the outer side. Jarman, Wooden overcommitted. Jarman all the time in the world. Brilliantly done. Looks as though he could play footy in a tuxedo sometimes. He boots it down towards full forward. In front, McIntosh thumps it towards the boundary. McKenna slides in and knocks it across the line and is penalised for deliberate. Well, that's a pretty tough call. McKenna was running in that direction, sliding. Still, maybe the standard is set for the night.
Just poorly disguised, I think, on that occasion.
Well, I think you're right, Dennis. Let's hope the standard is set and we see it with some consistency as Bickley runs around, shoots. The crowd like it. Mike Bickley kicks Adelaide's 4th, and a great start for the Adelaide Crows.
Yes, well, the Adelaide Crows have only taken the ball into their forward 50 on 12 occasions. The West Coast have taken it up there into the ground 11, but they still haven't been able to kick a goal as they try and rearrange their forward line. Simmons has gone down there now, and we see Schofield, or is it Evans, who's been instructed to march smart right back to the back pocket.
Just under a minute remaining. Adelaide by 25 points. Terrific start. Wren, Prosciutto in front, gives off to Connell once again. Connell to the lead of Stanfield. Stanfield with a diving mark, can't take it. Going back McKenna. With support there is Morrison. Morrison quickly throws it on the boot, but only lands in the arms of McLeod. McLeod, Connell, Hart. Here's Hart. They're all just sharing it around at the moment as Hart goes long towards Rodman. Coming across Banfield with a 2-handed fist. Cook can't grab it. Banfield tries to recover. Free kick. Banfield held, but he didn't have possession. Clock running down for West Coast. Just 23 seconds. And he didn't take possession as Cook laid the tackle. Comes to Jakovic, he's slow, gives it back to Banfield. I think time is going to run out. Maybe Adelaide can score as Cook around the body. Turnbull gives him a nudge, and Jakovic will punch towards the boundary. It doesn't go out. Last chance gasp for Adelaide, but the ball runs over once again.
Put the bus in the back.
Barry Stanfield, and it's just been a terrific opening by Adelaide. And there he is, quarter time here at Football Park. Adelaide 4-2, leading West Coast with a solitary point. A magnificent opening by the Adelaide Crows.
Well, at the present time, the West Coast Eagles can't get the footy. It's as simple as that. Hasn't he been terrific?
He has been sensational across half-back, and if you look at the possessions to quarter time, 93 to the Adelaide side, 53 kicks, 40 handballs. to the West Coast Eagles 56, 36 and 20. And we see there's Spinks on screen, who's obviously taken a bit of a nick across the eye, as long as he's still got both ears intact. There's Mickey Malthouse coming down onto the ground, and he's got plenty of concerns at quarter time. Adelaide 4-2-26, leading the West Coast Eagles by 25 points, just the solitary behind.
The house is rocking. Don't bother knocking. If the house is rocking, don't bother knocking. Just step right in and let the fun begin.
Quarter time at Footy Park. Adelaide, the Flyer, lead by 25 points. 4 players have got their goals. That is a great start for them as we go down to the boys on the boundary.
Thank you, Dennis. Well, Malcolm Blight naturally very pleased with that quarter. Has just asked them to continue the pressure. Don't do anything stupid. Just keep applying tough, hard pressure, which they're doing. Plenty of run from defence. And Adrian, what's happened to your change room?
Yeah, okay, Kels, you got me. It's coming, mate. I'm telling you, it's definitely coming this quarter. Brett Spinks has got a blast at that break, and we could see something from him, Kels.
Let's hope so.
Start of the second term. Banfield with the right foot. It wanders out towards right half forward. Caven This is Philip Matera, though. Got the crumbs. Wooden about 55 metres out. Goes long gunnerwards, full forward. Going back and reading it brilliantly in flight was smart. Not easy. Tips it out wide. Rashudo having a wonderful year. Their best last week in that loss at Cardinia Park towards the wing. Made to earn it was Costa. Will file that one away. Matera bearing down. Jim Costa on the wing, taking some time. It's very high. Will direct it. Morrison, no contest. Chad Morrison, left half back. Back towards the wing it goes. Coming up the ground is Schofield. Smart again, playing some sort of a game. Hard against the line. Repels another attack. Eagles 2 up, not good policy. Chance for Bond, pushed out of it. Bond did well though, reefed it in, now he's holding the ball. No doubt about that one.
One of the directions of the umpires this week, you cannot reef it in, as we see one of the great things in AFL football as he messes it up. It's Peter Matera running. Matera, McLeod in front, and starting the second quarter where he left the first. 9 possessions and 4 marks in the first quarter, Andrew McLeod, and that his 5th. As McLeod goes to the wing, he's got a spare player out here, it's Caven. He's made some space, it's 2-on-1, he draws the player well. Vardy to the lead of Modra, but chipping in well is McKenna. McKenna to relieve for West Coast. Looking for Simmons, Simmons overhead, good mark. Blurton will provide support in the middle. Simmons uses him, opens up Braun. Braun touching on the ground. Chip just going to ground just before he got there was Matera. Play on advantage goes. Heady kicks and Heady misses. West Coast scoring only their second behind for the evening.
They've started this second quarter well, and Dean Kemp, I wonder whether Mick Moldhouse had something to say to him at quarter time also. Darren Jarman had 12 possessions. Kemp has lined up against him. He's really going to have to tighten up on Darren Jarman because let run free, he can just dictate a game.
Peter Matera is off the ground, so more bad news for the West Coast Eagles. In keeping with the scoreboard, here's Beckley around the outer side. Chris Waterman is on. But Peter Matera limping off. It appeared to be a calf. Turnbull over the top. It's grabbed in front by Modra. The snap is good.
Well, that really was quite brilliant then from Modra. Electing to stay down. Just watch this kick from Connell to the top. As Bickley kicks the ball to the top. Modra sensing that he had to be the man down, and just terrific awareness to swing around on his right boot there. And that was the only time in this quarter that they've had the ball in their forward line.
Adelaide have their 5th through the brilliance of Tony Modra. 5 straight kicks. In one sense is that West Coast are already letting this game slip as Adelaide off to a terrific start. Pittman. Kemp to Philip Matera, his brother off the ground. Up forward. Down the ground was Hart. Have to be careful there, we want to get it out, and over the top, 2 or 3 players, ball up. As we see Peter Matera getting some assistance there.
Just looking at the stats too, Matt. After that last goal, 104 possessions to 57 Adelaide's way. Incredible.
All Adelaide. Umpires found a free kick. It's going to Pittman. And has the run of McLeod. Another possession for McLeod. Switches play. Jamison with some poise. An educated kick, really. To the contest of Simmons and Costa. Now it's a lesson for every young fella. Keep your feet. Costa. Around 2. Up forward, Rodman can't get there. Rashudo with some strength. Tackled by McKenna. It comes to Jakovic. Jakovic looking for options up forward. A wobbly old kick over the back. Jamison. Great play to Jarman, who just feeds off to McLeod. Adelaide playing with a sense of poise and accomplishment at the moment. West Coast are trying to make them pay for that. Those heady marks just outside 50.
Vardy should have marked that one. It could be the error. Presents a goal. Good mark taken just inside the boundary line by Waterman. Great to see him back. He's deep in the pocket. Just Just one game this season, played well too. That was the season's opener against the Swans at Subiaco Oval under lights. 12 games last year. Goes in short, a little bit rusty. Missed the target. Banfield, Rashudo, storming through his Smart. Kept it in front. Here's Philip Matera. Smart got him. Brilliant second effort. Grigich knocks it wide. Storming through his body. The moment is lost for the Eagles. Connell down towards half forward. Going back is Cook on Blurton, and Cook will get a free kick. Playing only his second game as we go down to Adrian Barrett with news on Peter Matera.
Yeah, Dennis, if things aren't that bad enough for the Eagles, Peter Matera has sustained a kick to his calf or perhaps the back of his knee, has an ice pack on what would be the worst night for an ice pack, and I don't know if we'll see him again. He looks very proppy.
Tim Cook, 45 metres out, directly in front. Made his debut in round 2 against the Tigers. Back tonight. Beautiful effort, straight through the middle. It's a rout.
Well, they're just looking so dangerous at the moment, the Adelaide Crows. The way they moved that ball from half back, and the error really, we didn't see it on screen then, but it was committed by the big fella Grigich, trying to come back up before he handballed. He had to give the ball off on the way up, and he was caught the turnover, and Adelaide Crows just moving the ball so efficiently through the midsection of the ground, and Cook finishing off after a free kick.
Adelaide continuing on in this onslaught in the second quarter. Grigich against Pittman. Pittman wins it. Cook has just kicked his first goal. Off the ground, Pittman following up his own knock. Goes up high inside the 50. Banfield puts Morrison under pressure. Comes out to Jakovic. He's going to go for the boundary. And he got a sandwich underneath that instead of a low 4-iron. And the kick will now be a shot on goal for Adelaide, to be taken by the sort of player who'd probably kick this, one at Tony Modric.
Yes, they've just lost all sense of composure at the moment, the West Coast Eagles. They're rattled.
Modric found Robran on a lead, and again another chest mark from Matthew Robran. That's his 5th mark of the evening, and now he'll have a shot from just inside the 50, probably kicked from right on the 50. On an angle which shouldn't present too much problem. He's a terrific kick for goal. He already has one this evening. It's just what Matthew's looking for in his comeback game from injury. The kick is going to go just across the face of goal and a behind. Adelaide lead 6-3 to the West Coast, 2 points. Something needs to happen, Dennis, from the West Coast point of view.
Yes. Looks very bleak at the moment. And McIntosh, in keeping with the mood, eventually after the indecision, drives it out towards half-back. Trying to help the ball on its way out there, Jakovic. In fact, he claims a mark, and I think it was paid. Across it comes to Braun. Braun up towards the wing. Heady with a bit of judgment, but Smart again. Impassable at the present time, Nigel Smart. Still he goes around the boundary. Look at that. Bulldogs his way through. Hand passes towards half forward. Gained about 25 metres. That was something special.
Just brilliant play then by Nigel Smart. He took off from centre half back when the ball looked like heading towards the West Coast Eagles goals, just to be the numbers, part of the numbers at the ball.
Nigel Smart setting the example for the Crows as Pittman picks up with a quick kick. Gains some advantage. That'll be another ball in just outside the Adelaide 50. Just over 13 minutes remaining in the second quarter. And Adelaide well on top in all departments.
If you look down at the Crows' defence, they're all athletic types.
The shift of McLeod to defence has been a real winner for them this year. He's good overhead. He's playing with confidence. He's been a real possession winner tonight. As Braun can't get the quick kick. In there is Rashudo, looking for support. He's wrapped up quite nicely by Big Ilya. And the ball up will result. Adelaide Crows interchange warming up. Ormond Allen, Wren and young Simon Goodwin. Sean Wren hasn't had to do much this evening. Pittman having a good game so far. Again, as we speak, Pittman knocks it inside the 50 to the advantage of Bond, who just pushes him out the way. Cook picks it up, quick left foot snap. Goes up towards Modra, bounces just in front of him. He can't get possession. The Eagles, will they run it out? I think a rush behind coming up. Yes, indeed. Turnbull just taking the easy option there for the kicking.
Under all sorts of pressure, the West Coast Eagles, the defenders who normally have plenty of time to set things up. The Adelaide forwards doing a wonderful job.
Schofield off, Stone back on. This is Dean Kemp. Out wide, Jakovic. Jakovic wants to go. Back to Kemp, close to the boundary line. Last time these two sides met, he came off on a stretcher just before half-time. The ball around the other side, missed by Hart. Socket forward by Hetty, back into the congestion. Ellen slips it away, nicely done. Costa pulls it down towards half-forward, waiting for Jakovic. Comes away towards midfield. Blurton near the centre circle. Chips across the ground. Stone's got it on the wing. Stone down towards half-forward. Plenty of Crows down there. Spinks was up, did well with strength, goes after it. Tries to slap it out wide. Wooden's got it, put on the brakes. Philip Matera, 55 metres out. McLeod, he's inspired tonight. So is Connell as he knocked it to Cook, to Caven. Away comes to Allen. Allen's away. Out wide to Beckley. Braun did very well, didn't touch Beckley. Beckley, though, responded. Beckley comes away, goes to half-forward. Pittman's got it. Just inside the centre square. David Pittman honours the lead from Modra. McIntosh from behind. Loose ball runs to the pocket. Morrison worked out of it. Varney, brilliantly done, Varney. Peter Varney lobs it. Stanfield fumbles. Across the face of goal it goes. Son of a gun. Stanfield hard against the line. And out she goes. He's not saying a word. Yes, he is. I knew he would.
Big Barry Stanfield, the fish. Slippery as a fish, the ball you'd think there for Big Barry. Robran tries to pluck it out of the air. No one going anywhere there.
Well, the percentage thing then from Vardy would have been to have a kick. Trying to do the unselfish thing. But on a night like tonight, when the ball is so wet and greasy like that, Matty, probably the percentage thing is the right thing.
Have a kick. I mean, you're 20 metres out. Banfield, the relieving kick, but it's to Jarman. Jarman with a little bit of a dance. He's caught by Kemp. To Cook on his wrong foot. Rashudo's in trouble. And the umpire agrees. Play on the advantage. A quick give to Banfield. Allen is in front. Goes to ground. Hetty. Just sort of chippy. A very clever kick in the end. Donnelly can't mark it. He's under pressure from Allen. Ben Hart loses his leg there. No free kick forthwith. It goes over the boundary line. They're all calling for a kick. No, they're not going to get one. Just under 10 minutes remaining in the first half. West Coast yet to score a goal. Adelaide by 38. Boundary throw in. Pittman from behind with a bit of touch there to Jarman, who's racking up possessions. Going forward. Robran to the advantage of Connell. Connell the kick to the lead of Modra. Over the back. Needs some recovery. Bond. Turnbull. McKenna. McIntosh is going to go to the boundary. He doesn't succeed. The kick in the air. Connell underneath it. Wooden does enough. Runs it over.
At the moment, the West Coast Eagles have got so many players doing negative roles. It's really hard to see how they're going to instigate any real positive play in their midfield.
Tossed in. Rigic back towards the boundary. Blurton. Across.
I guess they've had to try and shut down the Adelaide Crows, who've been on a roll, and maybe if they can just creep their way or edge their way back at half-time, maybe get a couple of goals going about 4 down, it'll give them some hope.
Pittman hooks it down. This is McKenna. Jakovic. Here's Hetty. Jakovic.
Forward, the punch from behind comes down to Simmons. Quick kick by Simmons. Is this their first? It's bouncing towards Rick Jefferson's there in time. And the crowd applauding Rod Jamison. Umpire's paid a free kick to Jamison though, so no score as he plays on. Ben Hart is going to be run down. Just gets his kick over the head of Costa. And the mark there to be taken by Simmons. West Coast still searching for their first goal. Simmons, centre wing. It's the forward line that's the problem at the moment, as he just kicks up high and hopes Mark will spoil from behind. There was 3 Crows there. It came down towards Materi, couldn't grab it. It was Waterman, I'm sorry. But it ends up with McLeod. It's just his night for it. Switches play out to Jamison. Jamison will go long to relieve. Connell with great use of the ball takes a mark. Open Blight made some changes to the side, wanted to get some players into the side with lots of possessions. Connell hasn't let him down. Finds Rashudo, the crowd favourite. Out in the path of Costa. Costa swinging in towards the danger zone. Coming out, Stanfield can't mark. Goes to ground. Jakovic keeps his strength about himself towards Donnelly. Donnelly with a quick give to Banfield. Banfield relieves for the West Coast.
Through the wing, 2-on-1 here for the Crows. Rendered brilliantly. Slipped it away, smart. Losing his footing, Caven still gave a contest though. Rolling in front, Bourne, that's holding the ball. That play goes on. Jarman onto the loose one in any case. Back to Smart, running on. Can he kick a goal? Goes down towards full forward. A lot of jostling down there. Modra will get a free kick. Not much done about that. One. On pace for a century. Up to 50 in round 11 against Melbourne. This for number 60 for the season. It's okay.
Adelaide going from strength to strength, just winning those midfield battles. We see a terrific tackle applied there by Bickley, and just weight of numbers. Smart running from half back again, just to provide the option, and then a free kick to Modra. Two-prong attack working well tonight. Stanfield and Modra always looking dangerous.
Modra with his second, a scoreboard that every Adelaide supporter is very happy with here at Football Park. Grgic trying to get through some traffic there was Banfield. Unlucky. Down to the boundary, Adrian Barrich.
Yeah, Turles driving him out again. He's saying bury him, he's yelling out. But just on the forward line set up for the Eagles, it isn't working. I guess that's an understatement. But the Eagles are trying to keep it open for Brett Spinks, but the Crows are dropping into his space. And because he's such a long leader, there's no one at full forward for them. And Mick, unfortunately, has limited options at full forward.
Well, one of his options is Heady. They'll need something from him with a bit of skill there. Heady looking for Spinks and finds him. Brett Spinks, I know how Adrian Barrich feels. I've sat on the boundary with Pearls. It's not much fun. Brett Spinks inches around the boundary, improves his angle.
Your boy's got up though that day.
Oh, he hits you like it, just punches you.
Physical game.
Physical game it is. Spinks kicks long to the centre square, to the top of the goal square, and with numbers, the Crows will force through a rush behind.
It's really hard to understand why the Eagles would persevere with Spinks being one out there in the forward line, because he doesn't have a lot of pace. You can understand the Adelaide Crows setting up their forward line, that because Modra is a quick burst player, but Spinks possesses nowhere near the pace that Modra has.
Rashudo across to Ellen, who drives it around the outer side. Morrison flew by. Simmons back to Morrison, lying on the ground, did pretty well. Waterman, the fumble, in trouble. Comes back to Morrison. Morrison off his step. Donnelly keeps it in front. Donnelly exposes it though. Jarman, sweeping hand pass. Connell, who's been terrific, 14th possession. Inside the 50, Modra almost on the chest. Applies a tackle on Blurton. Blurton on his knees, trying to stagger out. McKenna didn't have it. Blurton again. Well played. Blurton lobs the hand pass to Morrison, who's been busy on that other side in the last couple of minutes. Tired kick though. Jarman sends it back in. Under pressure down there. McIntosh fell over. 2 men left standing. Both of them Crows. Vardy, too much time. Way too much time. Out of bounds on the full.
That was probably it, wasn't it? A bit too much time.
Oh, he's thinking to himself, well, he's fallen over and there's two of us and I've got it. And next he says, oops. There's Jarman, spins out of trouble. Jarman bends it back. He's got it in any case. His first. And the Crows get their 8th. In a canter, it's Adelaide 8-4 to 3 points.
As soon as he picked up the ball, Josh Wooden just missing what he should have taken on that occasion. As soon as this fellow picked up the ball, you just knew that that's where it was going to end up. Perhaps the best finisher on the run in the game. Not as strong from a set shot, but when he gets them like that, he rarely misses.
Adelaide by 49 points. There's a school of thought that when Darren Jarman plays well, Adelaide win. 19 possessions already in the first half and a goal. Banfield can't get quite clear. Braun, quick kick out of the centre, but playing in front, Jamison.
That's just lack of pace again by Spinks.
Jamison's kick is not a good one, but may end up all right for Adelaide. Connell, Hart, the running Rashudo. Long, McIntosh in front, it goes over the back once again. Umpire's found a free kick though. It is going to Ashley McIntosh for the push in the back. Just over 4 minutes remaining. Adelaide in a canter here at Football Park as he goes off to Kemp. Dean Kemp to Morrison, getting many possessions, under pressure when he kicks, and that's why it found Kim Costa. Back to Hart, under a bit of pressure, but again an Adelaide Crow with some calm head, getting around. Ends up with Vardy. Vardy again. Inside the 50, looking for Modra. McIntosh with him, over the back. Turnbull, he'll rush it through for a behind. With some calm head. Dennis, did you like that?
Loved it. 3.5 minutes to go to half-time. 8-5 to 3 behinds. McIntosh to Kemp, deep in the pocket. Kemp around the boundary. Going very wide, the Eagles. Vardy almost finds it on the ground. Well played. Flicks it out. Everything is coming off. Robram runs to the 50. Spears the pass in. Modra's got it on the lead. And what the West Coast Eagles have got to be very careful about now is their percentage. They haven't kicked a goal. And this is when it can really tumble. Modra eyeing off his third. That's good.
Once again, the West Coast Eagles under pressure, trying to clear the ball out of their own defence. Just kicking blind on this occasion. And the turnover, and Robran just with plenty of time and the space out in front of Tony Modra just to finish that off. Ashley McIntosh has done a fair job given the weight of numbers and the possessions that have been coming his way.
The Crows continuing on their merry way. Back in the middle. Wren, set play to Bickley. Bickley spins out of trouble, but chipping in front of Stanfield that time. And taking the mark again was Morrison. Morrison goes wide to McIntosh. Looking for Waterman. Comes over the back. Oh! Philip Matera just puts his hands in his head. I know I did wrong there. Just kicking it out of bounds. Umpire saying that he can't handball there. Would that be right, Tim? He's got to kick it in.
Yeah, look, I'm not quite sure. I think he tried to play on outside the boundary line with a handball, with the kick back over his mark.
McLeod bombs it up long and high. Punch to the ground, Rashudo. A searching handball for Hart. Hart has McLeod, uses him. McLeod to the lead, goes over the back. Modra's lurking, keeps his balance, keeps his poise. Back inside, trying to work something out was Cook. Wren gives it back to Cook on his natural left foot, swings it around. It's all the Eagles. Evans comes across. Morrison caught. Jakovic caught. Turnbull knocks it out, didn't want to take possession. Modra with a little toe poke, but it ends up with Wooden. He tries to clear for the West Coast Eagles.
And it goes out of bounds. 1.5 minutes to half-time as we go to Malcolm Blight now with a thought on his team's defence.
Well, it will be. You know, I guess that's always spoken about being attacking, but our defence, I think, has been pretty good. Last week was the odd exception for the year almost, that we let too many through and didn't kick enough. So, but we've done a lot of work on that for the week, so hopefully we can kick enough goals. And I guess you're right. I mean, the Eagles don't give you easy ones.
Finally, taken high by one of the stars of that defence, Nigel Smart. Kemp to Braun. Can the Eagles get their first goal here? Open square. Will it run on? Yes, it will. The youngsters kick the long-range goal. Pratt not happy.
Well, it's been a long time coming, almost at the halfway mark. And support running there from Kemp, and always had the feeling watching this first half of football from the West Coast Eagles that they were going to have to kick a goal from outside 50 if they're going to get a goal at all, because they really have been shut down once they've got inside their 50-metre arc. Adelaide Crows' defence been sensational, but they need that confidence booster at half-time.
So the margin very tidy. It's at 50 points. Grigic wins it down, but Jarman was there. Away to Bickley towards half-forward. Jakovic, timely fist to knock it away. Caven over the ball. Brilliantly played, falling to the ground to Wren. Goes off a step, pops it inside the 50. Bond and McKenna. Swooping on the loose ball is Connell, making up the third man. He swings around, goes across the body, and the former Eagle has kicked an absolute ball-burster.
That's really rubbing salt into the wound. That isn't a former West Coast Eagles player kicking a miraculous goal like that. Just watches him. He runs onto the ball here, and you'd expect that he'd continue on, but he's doing the big arc. And then in the end, I'm not sure whether it was one of those kicks where he was thought about kicking it to the top of the square and just changed his mind at the last minute. But when you're hot, you're hot.
Matt Connell with his 16th possession with his first goal sees the margin back at 56 points. Almost half-time. Banfield can't take possession. McLeod can, wrapped up. Down to Neil Curley on the boundary.
Yes, I think if I was the Crows boys tonight after this game's over, I'd back up and go as a team to the casino. I'd have a cook all night.
Otter Evans, Neil Curley. And Adelaide's certainly enjoying a terrific half of football. Looks like there may be someone with the blood draw. Andrew McLeod, is it? Umpire's happy with him, I think. Adelaide by 56 points. Down to Neil Curley again.
Yeah, I think this boy could be slightly concussed.
Andrew McLeod, speaking of that, in a bit of bother. It's just on half-time. He can have a rest shortly as the ball is knocked out into the advantage there of McKenna. Just enough time, I think they'll have to be quick. McKenna kicks it up towards half-forward. Heady runs onto it. Slips it over the top to Evans. Time runs out for the West Coast Eagles. And the crowd stand and applaud a terrific first half for the Adelaide Crows. 10-5, 65 to the West Coast at 139. As we see Andrew McLeod just getting looked at there by the trainer. As we just see there, it's thrown on the ground. I think his head may have hit the ground there as he was slung to the ground in the tackle.
Yes, a nasty bit of work there for McLeod, who's been such a wonderful performer for the Adelaide Crows in the first half, and they'll go into their half-time break full of confidence, whilst the West Coast Eagles, who are gathering out there now, really have got some problems to face at half-time for the second half of football. They've been defeated in all facets of the game in this first half. They've really struggled in the midfield to gain possession of the ball when they've gone forward. And when they have gone forward and got inside their 50-metre arc, they've had nobody who's been capable of winning the one-on-one battles there. As we see the West Coast Eagles looking down, looking dejected at half-time, and so they should be. Adelaide 10-5, 65 at the long break. The West Coast Eagles 1-3.
youngsters from the schools in Adelaide, representing the Adelaide Crows and West Coast Eagles.
At every sporting event, you'll see a few people who still don't know the score. Yep, they drop litter and expect someone else to clean it up. So tell them to find a gym or take their litter away with them. Because right now, our favourite fan that there's all the supporters can
And in the interest of public health, we wish to advise smoking is not permitted in the football stadium in 1997. This includes all bars, restaurants, corporate areas and the members' foyer. Pass-outs will be issued to all persons who wish to exit the stadium during the course of the evening. For pass-outs, members are requested to proceed to the members' entry area, whilst patrons in the outer can secure a pass-out from any outer gate. The South Australian National Football League and William John. Thank you for your support in abiding by this request.
Well, what do you say in this situation? It's a wrap. The Crows playing terrific football at the present time. To lead by 25 points at quarter time, 56 now. 10-5 to 1-3. Tony Modra has booted 3 goals. That gives him 61 for the season. And just a reminder, this Sunday on Sports World, Tim Watson is off to Canberra looking for another James Hird. Well, good luck to him.
Justin Blumfield is already making his mark at Essendon, while Carlton's Aaron Hamill and Jacob Anstey are just starting to break into the Blues senior side, and Brett Howman has been amongst the best in the Hawthorn seconds. For 4 youngsters from the same place to be drafted by AFL clubs within a couple of years is unusual enough, but the fact that these 4 are blazing their trail from Tuggeranong in the ACT makes you wonder what they put in the water there.
Yeah, we went to school together, played school footy together, and then Tuggeranong together, so he go back a fair way. I can't get rid of him.
It was hard to get a handball off him, but especially in the junior days. But no, it was good. We always pushed each other along.
Well, there you go, around Australia. Sports World on Sunday morning, 9 a.m. in those cities. In Adelaide, it's at 8:30. Another James Hird. Good luck.
And there's 4 handy players up there, Dennis.
I know.
Well, not up there. They've come from Tuggeranong and all playing in the AFL at the moment.
We're talking about hard prospects. What about the West Coast Eagles getting back in this game?
Yes, they've got the job ahead of them, haven't they?
Absolutely.
They have been thrashed in every area of the game so far. You just wonder what Mick Malthouse will be doing down there at half-time, how he's going to be able to shuffle that side at half-time. And it's not something that he likes to do either, Mick. He likes to have a fairly settled side, so I think it's about time, though, he probably gave the forwards a chance to run in the back line and the backs to go forward.
The old under-12s?
Yeah, I think so. Just turn them around.
Okay, well, they can't get the footy at the moment. Simple as
No,
that.
they can't. They certainly can't. They've been just thrashed by that Crows half-back line against the forwards. We see the really interesting figure there, I suppose, is inside 50. The Adelaide Crows have taken it inside into their scoring zone 32 times to the West Coast Eagles. 20 centre breaks really has no bearing on this game whatsoever, and the centre hit-outs neither side there. But if you were to look at the individual stats, Dennis, then you would see that so many Adelaide Crows players have really had a field day out there in the first half.
We want a close one. We live in hope. It's half-time and the Crows up by 56 points. Back shortly.
Let's just check the goal scores up to half-time of this game between Adelaide and West Coast. Leading goal scorer for Adelaide, Tony Monter with 3. Singles to Barry Stanfield, King Costa, Matthew Rodman, Mark Bickley, Tim Cook, Darren Jarman and Matthew Connell. The lone goal scorer for West Coast up to half-time, Michael Brook.
Half-time at Football Park and the Crows 10-5 lead the West Coast Eagles 1-3. Still plenty of great football to come in this round 14. Let's move ahead to Sunday because those squads have been finalised. First game at the Gabba, and this should be an interesting one because the Tigers, well, they couldn't fall any lower.
No, they can't go any lower, and you'd expect that they'd come out breathing fire on Sunday. As we said, they're settled there. Thompson, Donati and Tawney in, Burke and Nichols and Nash both out. That's interesting because both those players obviously capable of kicking goals, but perhaps their patience has run out there with the Richmond hierarchy. And good to see Chris Scott in up there at Brisbane, and they're just gathering their best or very close to their best sides for the season up there, the Brisbane Lions.
Waverley, Hawthorn against Port. Port currently third on the premiership table, not travelling too badly in more ways than one because they've gone to Melbourne and been very competitive.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. They really have been a surprise packet of the season so far, Port Adelaide. Everybody expecting that they'll drop off at some stage, but the Hawthorn side has been terrific over the last couple of weeks especially. They play a very committed brand of football, and I'd expect that they'd be just a little bit too good for Port this weekend.
And at the MCG, it's the Bombers and Melbourne. Well, the Bombers bounced back strongly last week. That was a good victory by them, but they were down low, and of course Melbourne are still down there. They know how it feels.
Yeah, they've been honest, Melbourne, in the last couple of games for about a half, but then they've dropped off. Donald Cockatoo Collins getting his chance, Lovett, a veteran into the side, and Grikic in for his first game, and another youngster, Newton, also there. And I suppose Melbourne will be trying to experiment from here on in.
Well, on Sunday it's time for the footy panel. Our special guest on Sunday is Geelong's champ, sidelined at the present time, John Barnes.
Each coach brings something to a club. Hopefully that's what you get them for. And most people around football clubs really do like the good times.
Chris Grant yesterday was fantastic, and just when we sort of would come back at the Dogs, you know, Chris Grant would find something.
We saw Aussie Jones going in, showing his pace, and how would you be if you started off with him? Would you get to the front of him or would you just trail behind? What do you reckon, Brad?
I reckon I'd nearly trail behind Aussie. He's pretty quick.
He's pretty quick.
Ah, yes, the footy panel. Sunday mornings, John Barnes is there, Daniel Southern, did like that, and Wayne Carey. Sunday mornings, be part of it, catch up with what the heck's happening in football. It's half-time at Football Park, and the margin is 56 points. The West Coast Eagles get back. Well, I guess their fans have got their fingers crossed. I doubt they can. We'll be back shortly.
the eastern and western boundaries, ladies and gentlemen, would you please show your appreciation for these fine youngsters for the great game of football they're giving us here this evening. And ladies and gentlemen, put the foot on the pedal and welcome back the Adelaide Canterbury Crows.
Well, as far as the West Coast Eagles are concerned, that's bad news. Hasn't got any better. It hasn't changed during the break. It's 10-5 to 1-3. 65 plays 9. Adelaide Crows back out there. I'm looking at the footy record. I think I've got about, what is that, 7 goal kickers for the Crows. Always a good read. You've got to keep your goal kickers somewhere. Tony Liberatore features this week. 150 on the trot. He plays it hard. That's remarkable. He's a wonderful young player. Well, they all seem young to me, but he's approaching veteranhood. And speaking of veterans, Rowan Soares, 400. The Whistle Wizard, still going strong. Like I say, the footy record always a great read. The West Coast Eagles, anything but great in the first half. They really did struggle. As we go down to the boundary, firstly, Neil Curley.
Yeah, well, thank you, Dennis. Well, it's just hard to find a weak spot in the Crows team tonight. They're just all having a night out when the wild punch comes away from the pack, it hits the Crows' chest, and their movement of the ball is superb, particularly coming out of defence where Smart and McLeod in particular are just eating up the ball that goes in there and carrying it away. And then you've got Jarman, Bickley, Rashudo, Costa and young Vardy, and even Matty O'Donnell. They just Connell, who was just picking the ball up at will. Now, okay, how are you going to get back in the game?
Girls, you're putting me under the pressure, and I tell you what, if we don't get back in the game, I'm going to sit on the other side of the ground away from you. But from the Eagles' rooms, Matera won't play for the rest of the game by the look of it. In their forward line, their options are limited, unfortunately. With the 3 talls, your 3 talls.
Heady's the only one finding
we
the ball.
need our 3 blokes back, so maybe Heady or maybe Morrison at full forward. Spinks was one-dimensional, unfortunately, so not much there. But the great fighting spirit of the West Coast Eagles, to girls, I reckon this quarter they'll come out pumped up and show something for the club.
Well, Mickey Malthouse must make changes. He can't go on like this. He'll have to make changes, and if they come off well and good, well, I can't see him getting within a bull's roar of the Crows.
Oh, you're a hard man, Kills.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Well, already I see Ryan Turnbull going down to centre half forward. It looks like Spinks is going to still remain at full forward, and Donnelly will line up next to him in the forward pocket.
Tony Modra's good at 3 goals. Host of players with singles. Michael Braun has the goal for the West Coast Eagles as we start this 3rd term at Football Park. Friday night football on footy's home ground here on 7. Banfield, clean possession, charge down, it spills back to Kemp. Kemp drives it down towards half forward, in front Turnbull, and he's getting a free kick. Ryan Turnbull, centre half forward for his team. Normally a thumping kick. This one wanders off towards the pocket, but Heady has taken the mark. Well assisted by Spinks on the ground there with his use of the body to keep an opponent out. And Heady unchecked then. the easiest of marks. Watch it again.
Yeah, the kick appeared to go off the side of the boot, and Brett Heady, he really has been playing a lone hand up forward for the West Coast Eagles tonight, but this is just the start they really needed in this second half.
Heady, that shot behind the goal, and what's he done with it? He's got it.
That will give them some heart at the start of this second half, and perhaps the move of Ryan Turnbull may prove to be a good one in the second half. If he starts to mark the ball across centre half forward, it will certainly mean that the Adelaide side has to reconstruct their half back line, and for one of only a very few times they'll have the Adelaide brain trust on the back foot.
Brett Heady with his first, the West Coast second. They need plenty more of those to make this game a contest. Pittman. It comes to Connell. His return to the side has been terrific. Robran again with a chest mark in front. The pattern continues for Robran. He is a very, very long kick. This may test him, but out of all the Crows players, I would back Matthew Robran from the high 50s in front of any other player, especially a set shot at goal. He seems to love to kick long at goal. Robran now, he will kick from just under 60, changes to the torpedo halfway. Maybe the change of thought got offline. Caven the crumb, and Caven the goal.
Well, I don't see that too often, do you, Tim? Changing your mind in your run-up.
He went for the drop punt, then he went for the big barrel. It dropped short, and Caven, who drifted down from centre half back where he's lined up on Ryan Turnbull, he finds himself with the ball in his hands.
Could have been a set play, Tim. Change the ball halfway. Caven, you go there, it'll fall in your hands.
Yep, a difficult one to practice though.
The ball's back in the middle. Grigic comes to Banfield, tackled high. Umpire says no, it's not going anywhere.
Neil, what news?
Yes, young McLeod, a slight knock to the head. They say he may come back on just a bit later on in the game.
Okay. Looking at some Brownlow votes on what he did in the first half. Grigic, meantime, thumps it down towards half forward. Coming up was Donnelly. Hart left it behind. Over the ball was Goodwin on the ground now. Jarman feeds Rashudo. Too easy again. The man who got the goal now peels off half back. That's Caven down towards half forward. Turns the defence around. Morrison running back. Gathers the bouncing ball. Collides with Stone. Between a Stone and a hard place. He kicks it towards the outer side. This is Braun. Is it right half back? 11-5. 2-3. Braun pops it out wide. Plenty of Crows. Rashudo. Connell liked his game. Jarman. So much of the ball precise. Very good work by the Crows. Robran's got it out of wing. He's beaten Jakovic, but then of course Jakovic, so little support. Robran inside the 50. Trying to check off the ball with Stanfield. Coming through McIntosh. Boots towards midfield. Knocked down by Hart. Well played. Jamison got it to Goodwin. Towards full court and Modra. Well, how will I call that? It's a mark. He's got it 15 metres out.
It's almost in the back, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
That was a deliberate jump to push McIntosh out of the way. And then he'd landed again before the ball arrived.
Only the good ones can do that. Directly in front, going at his fourth. He's got it.
Coast Eagles under pressure again, clearing the ball. McIntosh just not being able to pinpoint the kick coming out of defence. And a long kick to the top of the square again. So we see Modra jumping early, kneeing McIntosh out of the way, and then landing, marking the ball for an easy kick to goal.
Adelaide answering West Coast second with 2 of their own. The margin out to 62 points. Pittman again with the tap. So often to Bickley. Around the body. Robin goes underneath it. West Coast to clear. Simmons back to McKenna. Beautiful kick by McKenna to Heady. Now Heady runs to the 50, gets caught, good pressure. Turnbull forced to kick round the body. Smart. He's got some time, has a look around, and Smart clears to Connell. Kick number 16, Connell. Towards Bond, Banfield spalls. Rashudo waits in the right spot and ends up again with Banfield. His kick, well placed, again finds Brett Heady. As Tim Watson has said, really playing a lone hand up forward.
I think the Adelaide Crows will be pretty happy with Troy Bond's game tonight too. He hasn't had a lot of the ball, but what he's done is he's pushed right up the ground to drag Guy McKenna away from centre half back, where he does like to play and float across and win his fair share of the ball just by reading the ball off the boot. Troy Bond's really sacrificed his own game tonight to drag Guy McKenna up the ground and out of that slot.
Brett Heady now from 45 to 50. Aims right, stays right. And Brett Heady misses to the right-hand side. Back to 61 points. Rod Jamieson prepares to kick in. Jamieson, the kick-off, well measured. Ellen. Shane Ellen to the centre wing. One-on-one contest. Simmons just grabs Costa and throws him on the ground. Advantage played to the running Jarman. Jarman on the run. It's a beautiful kick towards Modra, just short of him. Over the back again. McKenna out of trouble for the West Coast. Towards Simmons. Simmons marks.
Left half back. Towards the wing. Donnelly on a collision course with Orman Allen. And he's hurt Donnelly, and across the line it goes. That really hurt. Go down to the boundary.
Dennis, Andrew Donnelly is in Dixieland at the moment. He's had to hit the ground as he went down. He doesn't know where he is. He is in real trouble.
One of those awkward balls. Back. Cross, as you see, met solidly by the man coming up the ground, who really has the advantage, but not the right of way. Having said that, Donnelly has paid the price. So boundary throw and nothing going right for the West Coast Eagles. Schofield coming back on. There it is again. Orman Allen bracing himself on impact. Bickley, Rashudo, the Marks brothers. The kick goes inside the 50. Going back down there, McKenna spills. Cook off the deck. This is Bond, back to goal, dragged down, good tackle, got him down. Simmons to Blurton, off his step, finds Kemp. Dean Kemp. Left half back. Along the boundary line. Well, where did he go? Caven sliding into the dugout there, if you don't mind. The boundary thrower. They are committed tonight. The Crows have been fantastic. Turnbull slowing up, not so Caven. Disappears for a pit stop.
Off the boundary throw-in, tapped out by Simmons to the advantage of Braun. Can't quite pick up the slippery ball. Goes again, finds Banfield. Banfield to Dean Kemp, a Norm Smith medalist. Kemp out in front of Waterman. Smart comes over the back. Evans tries to keep the ball alive. Jamieson. Well played, Rod Jamieson. Over to Orman Allen. His handball misses the mark. Smart is there, but Tony Evans has come back into the contest. There's a murder of Crows there. There was 4 of them. It comes back now towards Braun. He's tackled by Vardy. Turnbull. High. Jamieson with the strong punch. Punches at 30 metres. Wooden is there for the West Coast. Runs around, runs to the 50. Long kick towards goal. How's it going to end up? It goes over the back. Just enough pressure there by Simon Goodwin. Sees it go over the line for the minor score.
And that's one of the rare occasions we've actually seen a West Coast Eagles player running with the ball tonight through a line to open up some space downfield.
Ben Hart clears. 3 Crows players standing their own. They could raffle it. Jarman was the one to take it. To the running ruckman and Pittman. Rashuda with support. Kicks into the space. Coming out Stanfield. With him was Stone. Stone goes back. Kicks it high again. That's not a very good kick. In fact, it's very, very poor. Out on the full by Stone. And Peter Caven, who once again finds himself in the forward line, he's drifted down again. He's been a great player for the Adelaide Crows at centre half back. A real surprise packet, really.
He really has found his position, hasn't he?
Yeah.
And not afraid to run forward when they gain possession of the ball, which drags the centre half forward out of his slot too. And by the time the ball gets back when he has to do the work, he could be pretty tired.
Peter Caven from just outside 50 tries to centre it into the attacking zone. Goes over the back. Chance for the West Coast to clear. Quick kick by Simmons. Gets it out. Well, there's Simmons there. Simmons. Handball goes straight towards Stanfield. Tries to back it up and just pushes it over the line to relieve the pressure. It was Braun, not Simmons.
There he is again, as if on cue. Very similar, as you can see. So boundary throw in about 60 metres out. Pittman works in front. Grigic wrestles with him. Jarman been superb. Run down from behind that time by Kemp. Well done. Back goes Morrison. Twisting, turning, lost the ball if you don't mind. Opportunity there for Bond. He's dragged down. McKenna, strong tackle. The ball up. About 20 metres out from the Crows' attacking goal. Still dominating this game.
Just looking down the other end of the ground, Dennis. Smart has left Waterman. Waterman's trying to march him back to the back pocket.
Stanfield dragged down. Another ball up. Yes, Smart now inside the attacking 50. They're enjoying this.
It's just real confidence, isn't it? 10 goals up. Just taking some options, throwing some caution to the wind.
Pittman to the goal square. Stanfield off the deck, not quite. McKenna goes back, concedes a behind. Bad round of results, and the West Coast Eagles could tumble out of the top 8. And on tonight's form, justifiably, still, 1.25 to go. Kemp combines with McKenna up towards the wing. 2 Crows at the ball that time. Norman Allen and Costa, and it's out of bounds.
Trey Norman Allen, who came back into the side after being dropped after the Geelong game when Kane Johnson pulled out. Marvellous athlete, Trey Norman Allen. Boundary throw in, down in front. Blurton with a quick kick. Going up towards the half-forward flank. Runs over the back. Norman Allen, as we spoke of, comes back to lend support and is happy to see the ball go over the boundary line. Takes it with him. Just over 10 minutes remaining in the second half, in this third quarter, sorry, with Adelaide doing it easy. Boundary throw in towards Jarman. Evans to Kemp. Kemp should score from here, left foot, but just doesn't bring it back enough. And Dean Kemp, who has had plenty of the ball himself while he's been playing on Darren Jarman, was his 18th possession, only the minor score. It's 10 straight goals, the difference. And as you mentioned earlier, Dennis, it's a season where percentage will be important. And it's not what the West Coast was looking for from this away game.
No.
They've cleared the ball easily, haven't they, from defence too?
That's 2 in a row where they've just been standing still. As they work it up the grandstand side, Pittman, here's another player on his own. Costa can go over the top, he will. Rashuda, now Rashuda could probably score and just chips it away there to Vardy. Vardy marks. He's got a player on his own in the middle, he's got 1 or 2 options, but decides no, much to the chagrin of the crowd.
Terrific run then from Bickley. He went from half back to the forward line, wasn't rewarded, but still created an option going forward.
As it turned out, it was the wrong option, Vardy, because Bond was on in the middle, 30 metres in the clear in all directions. But Rashudo got it to Vardy, who can finish. Trying to bend it back, reasonably close, but no cigar. Peter Vardy made his debut in round 14 against Brisbane last season. Pittman off to generous applause. Wren back on. McIntosh.
They've had trouble all night getting an attacking kick from are behind.
It's a contrast, isn't it, with the kick-in drills?
High one, Wren and Jakovic. Jakovic down behind, well played. Simmons runs away from half-back. Towards half-forward, Heady used his body intelligently, found it on the ground. Meantime, there's a free kick, and it's going the way of Evans. Heady wants to go. Evans has it, down towards left half-forward. Tony Evans, close to best on ground last time these two sides played. Short, no confidence in that kick. Banfield from 70 out towards full forward. Wren drifting across, but Smart takes a terrific grab. What a game he's played. When he's going, few finer defenders. Jarman had to wait at the second attempt, almost the mark. Clowns the call. Schofield buried deep in the pocket. Jarman came back into the play and smothered it off the boot. 79 to 18, just over 9 minutes to three-quarter time.
Just typifies the Adelaide attitude tonight, just for that second and third effort. Terrific performance there by Jarman. Over the back by Spinks, looking for someone in the clear, but there was no one there. A good, clever tap on, finds it the way to Heady. Heady, a quick high, but unfortunately not where Brett was looking the ball to go. And another behind there to Brett Heady. He's still getting plenty of the ball for the West Coast Eagles, but unfortunately not registering on the scoreboard. Again, back to the straight, 10 kicks as Rod Jamieson prepares to kick in. Short to the pocket to Ben Hart. It's the second kick in these drills. It's the important one, and this time it has opened up and freed up Simon Goodwin, who goes up the middle. Bickley, not knowing where he was going. Good courage, Bickley. Long to the lead of Modra. He's out in front. He gets a little nudge. It comes back to Morrison. Morrison to Stone. Stone looks for the clearing kick in the boundary, finds it, and relieving the pressure for the West Coast Eagles.
That was a real example of the different styles of play these two sides have. The Adelaide Crows not afraid to get the ball back into the central part of the ground. The West Coast Eagles just go chip, chip, wide, wide, and they're always a long way from goal.
And again, the Adelaide Crows were able to take it away from the kick in from the behind. Back to the half-back flank. Simon Goodwin just happy to see it over once again.
They really won't attack the central part of the ground until they get at about half forward the West Coast Eagles side. And that's one of the problems with ticking the scoreboard over.
Down to the boundary.
Now you might have seen there, Brett Spinks into the ruck and Ilya Grigic at full forward. Mick Malthouse trying to get something going.
Certainly is, as the ball is underneath 4 or 5 players there. Nothing going there. Tony Evans just trying to assert some authority there on Trent Orman-Allen. Mick Malthouse, again, as Adrian Barrett said, just trying to get something happening up forward with this side. Some options towards goal. Cook can't get past Kemp. Wren on Blurton. Umpire says you had an opportunity, you didn't get rid of it. And a free kick to Sean Wren.
The big fellow from half-back. Just wide of Jarman. Caven's got the run of it through midfield into space. Modra comes on the lead. Cleared him. Running behind Stone. This is Morrison. In the back pocket, Morrison arches the back, comes away. Shocking kick though, although not much up ahead. He was looking for the boundary line, didn't find it initially. Jarman is there, but not in time, so he will be thrown in. Darren Jarman. What's that now? 26 possessions for Jarman. Hawthorn's best and fairest in 95, third last year with the Crows. He likes playing against the Eagles, even when they lost last season. 35 possessions in that one. But tonight, obviously much more effective. Behind, here's Schofield with the run of it. Didn't have it. Could have been pushed in the back. Braun had it. Wishes he didn't. Socket off the ground by Connell. Deep into attack. A holding decision against the forward. Stone to take the free, but not from there. So it'll come back. Nick Stone. Short, wide. Morrison lunging. Despairing, missed it. Cook gets it away. Vardy. Looping hand pass to Bickley. Connell feeds it across. Back it comes again. The kick from Bond. Off hands. Loose ball behind. McIntosh throws it on the boot. Bond is out towards the wing. Hart will put it back in. Bond about 55 metres out. They're everywhere at the moment. Bond, short, Wren, the big fellow, on his chest. Sean Wren. Slowly, it's starting to come back for him. This would do his confidence the world of good.
Dennis, I know Pittman's off and he's been playing very well, but this is a marvellous opportunity this next quarter and a bit for Wren to just go around and enjoy his football, get hold of it, and really have some fun.
Trying to bend it back. It's bending.
That's fun.
Get out the party hats. How's that?
And the crowd, they certainly love this big fellow. As we see here, Troy Bond had the ball in his hands, waited. There was 3 leads before big Sean Wren doubled back on Spinks. And really just take another look at that marvellous check side kick.
Sean Wren with the South Australian check side stretches the margin to 66 points. He's back in the centre, taps it to Jarman with class to Rashudo, running hard towards Modra, can't mark. He's enough to recover, gives it back out in the path of Rashudo, trying to straighten up, hooking back towards the top of the square. Stanfield has to beat 2, the punch from behind, and McKenna happy with that. Down the boundary, Neil Curley.
Yeah, well, in a situation like this, there's nothing the opposition coach can do. Mick Malthouse, whatever moves he makes, he's not going to win the game because the Crows are just having a night tonight where everything they do is coming off.
I saw a little picture there of Mick, and you'd have to agree with that. There's nothing much he can do. Wren over the top, he is having fun, isn't he? It ends up with Bond, a quick one to Robran, his kick smothered. Wren again, off the ground by the wrong player. And that player was McIntosh. Stanfield was hoping to get hold of it, but to no avail.
Or the right player.
Oh, well, I'm trying not to be biased. But Ashley McIntosh. Short kick to Kemp. Kemp, ill-directed. Connell on the chest. Matt Connell. 17th kick. Rashudo will go long, customary long. McIntosh getting back. Takes a good, strong mark.
Not easy, that one. Did well to Kemp again. He's trying hard, Dean Kemp. 20th possession. Sends it around the outer side. Turnbull favoured by the kick. Always his. Climbing over Connell. Is it right half back? Through the wing towards half forward. Norman Allen in from the side. Cleared the pack. Chance for Schofield to run onto it. Tries to go back inside. Heady provided the voice. Back to Schofield. Missed the mark though. Schofield deep in the pocket. Socket off the ground. Not sure who it came off. I think an eagle. Might have been Tony Evans.
They're just under leg speed pressure then, weren't they?
Yeah, story of the night. This is Jamison from Smart. Ship pass. Good one. It's normally a good kick, this youngster. Across the ground. Rewind the tape. Jakovic to McKenna. Cross he goes. Wooden's away. Directly across the ground go the West Coast Eagles. Waterman has it now, just forward of the wing. Chris Waterman. Nothing happening down forward with the exception of Heady, so why not go to him? At least he was moving. Smart over the top, did brilliantly. Really grist for the mill, that sort of pass coming in. But give Heady his due. He was trying to give something, and now Smart, having got something, gets a free kick. They're coming unglued, the Eagles, at the moment.
And just some frustration from Brett Heady. He is trying, he is moving around. He's probably their only option up forward. And now showing that he's working hard and not getting much for a reward. He goes out to Wren. Crowd love it when he takes a mark. He goes to centre wing. Has Connell. It's just all going right for Adelaide. Matt Connell. Towards centre half forward. Going back was Jarman, but Kemp read it better. Simmons through the middle of the ground. Banfield. This is better. Morrison. But again, they've gone wide when they were going down the middle. It ends up with Heady again, roaming all over the forward line, looking for options up forward. Chips it back into the middle. Simmons drops a very easy mark. Rashudo under pressure. Coming into length support was Jamison. Schofield, quick kick now. Here's a chance for the West Coast Eagles. Simmons steadies, goes long from 55, hooks it left a bit, and Brett Heady now finally gets some reward and kicks another goal. A well-worked goal from Brett Heady. His second, the West Coast third.
Well, they did a double take on that one too, the West Coast Eagles. You called it right, Matt. They had the opportunity to kick the ball into the corridor to a space in front of Ilya Grikic. And almost as if they're programmed, they went wide. They had another opportunity here after working hard. A good handball then to release. Another one by Morrison and a good long kick here by Simmons and Brett Heady.
Lone hand by Brett Heady. 61 points the margin. Just over 2 minutes remaining. Bad bounce ends up with Banfield. It's collared by Jarman. Umpire says literally collared. Grabbed on the collar. And Banfield will take the free kick.
Through Banfield. Towards half forward. In front Spinks. Over the top Jamison. And Jamison's going to get a free kick. Like bookends, Jamison and Smart. That's a good call by the umpire too. Here's Bond, and they've been terrific tonight, that pair, but the whole defence has worked so well. Hart pops it out in front of Wren. Wren ducks the head, could have been holding the ball. That's the call. Play on now. McKenna wide. Wooden has it. Right on the wing here at Footy Park. Just over a minute and a half to go to three-quarter time. Crows in total control, 86-25. Waterman knocked away by Smart. Not just knocked away, but knocked away with intelligence, getting it across the boundary.
Just forced wide again. Really hard to bring the ball back from this position and score.
Tossed in right on the 50. Turnbull and Wren wide at the congestion. Smart again. Comes away. Very high kick, it floats to midfield. Grikic on the chest, wants to go and does. Little chip pass, but some danger in that. Wooden, did he hand pass? I thought he did. Play goes on. Simmons knocks it out in front. He's working hard. Playing from behind by Hart. Well done by Ben Hart. Whistle, ball up. Crowd wanted holding the ball. But the Crows worked at a treat in any case. And at the base of that is Ben Hart. The two redheads go at it here. Hart, the presence of mind to find it after it's spilt. Ben Hart, been around a long time, but worth remembering. He turns 23 next Wednesday, so a young veteran. Costa, Wren, brilliantly done. Got it through the Rashudo.
Rashudo drives towards Robran. Punched there by Jakovic. At 20 metres, Bickley runs onto the loose ball. Comes up the side of his boot towards Vardy. Vardy, quick give was almost enough for Bond. He goes to ground. McKenna. Here's a chance for the Crows. Vardy over the top. They've got a player on. It's Darren Jarman. He doesn't miss these. And he didn't. Darren Jarman, his second. Adelaide's 14. And there's not many better finishers as we see the replay. Tim, take it away.
Well, some good pressure here. That tackle there by Bond, dispossessing Guy McKenna, and Jarman on the end of this, and he really is a wonderful finisher. He and Kemp manned up on each other, but they both had plenty of the ball.
When we talk about finishing, I mean, Troy Bond finished that tackle too, didn't he? Got McKenna down and out of the contest, and it was Crum. Here's Kemp to Banfield. Almost siren time for three-quarter time. Caven. Impenetrable as defence. Now, was it touched off the boot? Some consternation from Caven. Couldn't have suggested he played on, surely. Three-quarter time. It doesn't matter. How does that scoreline sit? For the Adelaide Crows fans, they love it. 14-8 to 3-7.
Well, the West Coast Eagles really still being thrashed on the scoreboard, but you did get the feeling that they worked their way a little bit into this game in that third term. They had plenty more of the ball than what they'd had in either of the first two quarters. And that man on the screen then, he's had a fairly tough duel with Darren Jarman. Darren Jarman shading him with 28 possessions to Kemp's 22, but it's also been the important possessions that Jarman has had in the first 3 quarters of football. As we see a fairly unhappy coach there on screen, Mick Malthouse. He'll have plenty to say to his boys at 3-quarter time, whereas Mal Blight, well, he could be extremely pleased with what he's seen in this first 3 quarters of football. 3-quarter time, Adelaide 14-8-92, the West Coast Eagles 3-7-20.
Well, the biggest problem for the Adelaide Crows in the run-in could be staying awake. 14-8 to 3-7. Dominating this game of football. Tony Modra's got 4 goals, 1 in that term. Darren Jarman's booted 2 as we go down to the boundary, and Neil Kill.
Yeah, well, thank you, Dennis. Well, naturally, Malcolm Blight very, very pleased with his players at 3-quarter time. Ellen has pulled a hamstring. He'll take no further part. Nigel Smart is off the ground at 3-quarter time with a slight hamstring strain. McLeod is back on the ground, so he's recovered. But Malcolm just asked his players to finish the game off, concentrate, and don't do anything stupid. Just concentrate, play good hard footy, and just bury them. What about your boys?
Yeah, obviously, Curls, Mick Malthouse much the opposite, very unhappy. Went after Jared Schofield that break. And when Mick comes for you, it puts the fear of God in you, let me tell you. Just wants the guys to play out the game and show something for the last quarter.
Well, he needs to be playing then, Adrian. Set to go for the start of the final term then. It's 67 points the margin.
Sorry, Dennis McLeod back on the ground.
You put a texter through Nigel Smart's name there.
Oh, had him earmarked for the votes too, and he's off. All about pride for the West Coast Eagles. All about percentage as far as the Adelaide Crows are concerned. Try and get up in the rarefied air of the top 8. Rucks go at it. Grigich slaps it wide. Simmons to Kemp. Move the ball, but in the wrong direction. Morrison, cross half back, miscues completely. It wobbles out towards the wing. Up comes Philip Matera. Great work by McLeod. Not often someone can match Philip Matera. He would have been surprised there. But it cruised past, but McLeod is no slug when it comes to a race. He knocked it across the boundary line. McLeod terrific in the first half, possibly the best man on the ground. Boundary throw in on the wing. Pittman and Grigich. Grigich got him in the sleeper hole. Slapped out wide. Here's Hart. Plenty of support inside. Well, took a while to develop. Now Jarman. His 29th possession. And wasn't that precise under pressure. That was superb to Rashudo. Rashudo coming up for his 23rd. So these midfield runners absolutely murdered the West Coast Eagles. Mark Rashudo. Half-distance pass, demanding a lead almost of Bond. And he's got it. Troy Bond.
Troy Bond. And just outside the 50. Marvellous kick before by Jarman. Not many players could have found Rashudo there. Tries to hook it back. That's a customary kick for Troy Bond. He loved doing that. And so does the crowd. Great long goal from Troy Bond. His first for the evening. Adelaide's 15th.
That was a magnificent kick outside 50, but if we wind it back a little bit, we saw Hart just holding on to the ball out here on the wing, just buying a little bit of time, finding the right man in Jarman, who then found Rashudo, and Rashudo holding on to the ball, just waiting for the right lead, the right play to present themselves.
Crows by 73. Pittman with time to lay it off to Rashudo. Quick kick out of the centre, up towards the 50-metre line. Bond again back in the action. Taps it out to the advantage there of Costa. He can't pick it up, but Bond has gone for the third effort. Needs some support. Has some in Jarman. Another possession to Jarman. And again finds Rashudo. Great vision. Rashudo from the 50. Goes long. Pulls it across the face. Modra's there. So's McIntosh. Comes to the ground. Modra, what can he do? Gives it to... Oh, it's too fierce for Vardy. And the West Coast should clear. The handball ends up now with Wooden. Wooden will kick long. Looking for the player there in Turnbull. He's up forward. Evans comes in to lend support. Great tackle by Goodwin. Comes to the ground. Here's a chance for the Crows again. Connell kicks up towards full forward. Coming out and going over the back now. It's McIntosh who should relieve. McIntosh has some support in Schofield. Schofield to the centre wing. Connell does enough to keep the contest alive. Pittman knocks it over. And a great work rate there by the Crows, just keeping it alive, continually pumping it forward. And they really have just dominated this game right from the word go and haven't even given the West Coast a sniff.
Fancy effort that one by Matty Connell too, given the scoreboard. Manfield smothered by Goodwin. Ricochets across to Braun. Braun bounces this one down towards half forward. McLeod did very nicely. Still going, McLeod. Well played. Gets it across towards support and Jamison. Jamison made himself invisible. Comes away from half-back. Back towards the wing and Pittman. Well, Eagle supporters at the moment need a high threshold of embarrassment. This is Bickley coming away. Bickley prods it inside the 50. Grigich. Short one is on. Schofield up from the back pocket. Runs to half-back, kicks up towards the wing. Oh, that's a good catch. That is a very good catch.
Terrific mark by Hart. Strong hands in the pressure situation of a one-on-one contest. Indicative of his game all night. To Pittman. Adelaide trying to set something up. Just holding on to possession, waiting for the space to appear. Pittman towards Robran. Robran palms it down to Caven, who again's up forward. Caven runs into an open goal and misses. Some would say he kicks like a backman, but he's a very, very good kick, Caven. Just letting himself know there, Tim.
In modern football, defence is just a state of mind, isn't it? Once you gain control of the ball, nobody's a defender, everybody's an attacking player. And the Adelaide Crows have played like that tonight. They've been full of confidence.
They certainly have, and 74 points is the margin. Ashley McIntosh prepares to kick in. Well, has spotted a player, but Pittman there, the height against Stone, comes to ground. Matty Connell, back to Peter Caven, looking to make amends, and does so beautifully. Just a beautifully measured kick there from Caven, finds Tim Cook. Down on the boundary, Adrian Barrich.
Yes, Matty, well, the woes continue for the Eagles. Guy McKenna has left the game with a cork leg. Nothing going right. It's Curls' night tonight.
I think it's a fantastic night here. It's lovely and warm. And
yes, tongue-in-cheek there, Neil, but Adrian Barrich has said a lot of the experienced players, Matera McKenna off the ground, as Tim Cook prepares to kick from just inside 50. The physiotherapist from Central Districts wobbles one through, and Cook kicks his second. Adelaide continue on.
Well, it's become the most dangerous part of AFL football, the turnover after a kick-out. We see here the West Coast Eagles have struggled all night to spot someone from the kick-out. The turnover, and because players have stayed in the zone, we often find that turnover results in a goal.
16-9 to 3-7. Got to just your set. Pittman up, slaps it down. Wooden gets back. Not very wide again. The story of the night. Now 4 on 2 here. Turnbull only as far as Hart. Hart chips in short. Or a shootout. Plenty of the ball tonight, but he's been overshadowed, if that makes sense, by his teammates. Norman Allen. Connell breaks for him, that's ignored. So just for the moment they've slowed it right up. Norman Allen, and the man on his mark, the only men inside the defensive 50 for the Crows. Norman Allen hoisted high. Kemp has tried very hard, got a fist on it. Braun. Slick hand pass taken by Spinks. Schofield running from half back up towards the wing, goes to half forward. 2 on 1 here. Hart. Hetty was in front. Hart goes on. Waterman's hand pass pretty good under the circumstances. Got it to Philip Matera. Tries to go back to Hetty, but weight of numbers tells the story again. The hand pass comes across, and the kick from Goodwin to Pittman. Taken by Jarman. Now Pittman once more. In trouble. Gehrig through the legs of Robran. Jakovic took an eternity to gather the ball. Eventually, Grigic throws it on the boot. Turnbull high up and under. Back towards his attacking 50. Caven took it nicely off hands. McLeod. And he comes away. McLeod. Probing kick towards half forward.
A fantastic kick by McLeod. He spotted Jarman. He kicked it out in front of him. Jarman with 2 bounces. What will he do this time? Oh, brilliant play by Jarman. Backs himself but couldn't finish it off. Much to the dismay of the Adelaide crowd. Would have been another great Ryan Jarman goal, but the kick by McLeod from 55 metres away, spotting Jarman running into space. Terrific. West Coast will clear to the outer side. Vardy dropped what he perhaps should have taken. Recovers well. Bombs it back in forward. Monta from behind. Couldn't quite grab it. Comes to Stanfield. He's caught. Stone. Not many options. Over to Schofield. Schofield now to Banfield. West Coast relieved. Kicks it straight into Pittman. Schofield has run on. In trouble. Caught. Comes to ground. Wooden off the ground. Ben Hart, great touch. Just sticks the hand out and it sticks in it. His kick, will it stay in for Caven? No, it won't. Unfortunately for the Adelaide Crows. Down to Neil Kelly on the boundary.
Yeah, we've seen this situation twice this year where a team travelling for a night game comes away the day before and then spends the entire day just trying to get themselves ready for a football match. Port Adelaide did it and got thrashed by St Kilda. And here we have the situation again tonight.
Feeling tomorrow won't be much fun either. Rashudo inside the 50. It's a high floater. Morrison in from the side. Still going, Morrison. Hand passes out wide, headed for the boundary line. Robran takes it across. What about that smear by Ben Hart just a minute or so ago?
It's super glue on the hand, I think.
Unbelievable.
Morrison's been good since he's gone back. He's been prepared to be that third man up.
Tossed in. Schofield from half back. Not a good kick. Wanders through the centre. Allen could have been held. Spills wide. Evans didn't have the ball. Goodwin was slung. Taken by Waterman. Sold the teammate into trouble. Rashudo missed it. Still there. Banfield at the second attempt. Little chip pass inside the 50 and Spinks has got it. Now Spinks is a prodigious kick, but he sees a man to the pocket, Heady, and hasn't he presented well all night? They're only forward. Brett Heady again running hard. 16 possessions so far, and given the state of the scoreboard, no men feet. So Heady getting plenty of advice. Going in his third. Runs around, pulls it back, bends it nicely. That's a great kick. 3 for Brett Heady.
Well, Brett Heady can hold his head high tonight. One of the few Eagles players at the end of this match that will feel that they've actually won on the night, though. Banfield breaking clear, and for about the first time tonight we've seen Spinks actually coming out leading and then spotting Heady, who worked extremely hard to find some space.
Brett Heady with 3. West Coast just with 1 more. 74 points. Pittman to Jarman. Jarman's had it all night. 32 possessions to Jarman. It ends up with Costa. Rashudo with support. Traditional long kick from Rashudo. 1-on-1. It might go over the back. It does, but not in time for Mark Rashudo. Rushed through by Turnbull. Another behind to the Adelaide Crows. And it just, Tim, it's just been Adelaide running to support, running in numbers through that midfield.
Been very confident tonight.
Kick in, finds Simmons. Simmons has Kemp. He has plenty of space. Kemp towards half forward. Coming out was Matera, but going back was the athletic Trent Orman-Allen, or Krakatoa as they call him. Orman-Allen with the chip kick doesn't come off. Wooden comes through. Umpire says it was too high, but perhaps a mark would have sufficed. Josh Wooden towards a pack of players, mainly Crows, comes to ground. Orman-Allen out of the air. Brett Heady, and the umpire says it travelled the distance. Brett Heady takes his 10th mark for the evening.
Told to play on now, on the 50. Kicks it virtually across the ground to Stone. He paddles it almost outside the 50. Tugs it around his body. Orman-Allen backed himself against the bouncing ball and did very well. Very precise. There's McLeod, opposite pocket. Short one is on. Costa. So much confidence from the Adelaide Crows. 10 minutes to go till full time. Percentage booster. Bond on his chest. 106, plays 31. Bond kicked a lovely goal in this term. Eyes light up as he pulls it back to the middle. Vardy had to wait, but the kick was good enough. Got there in time. Peter Vardy. Inside the centre square, the defensive end. Well, unloads for a spiral. The coach, I don't think, would be impressed with that. In midfield, Grigic had it, then lost it. Robran, who started so well, tries to hand pass it out. Banfield. He's battled on. Banfield comes away, down towards half forward. Clears the first 2 flyers. Waiting behind, I think Spinks is going to get a free kick. Spinks. 60 metres out. Matera offers a lead. That's ignored. Spinks, as I said earlier, is normally a pretty good kick, and this is no exception. He almost did the hard work, crawls after it, but Orman-Allen comes away.
Norman Allen, the spiral kick to relieve the pressure to find space. Darren Jarman just saying, I was clear, you should have given it to me, but the percentage play there by Norman Allen.
And Darren Jarman, not one to waste a kick.
Well, he's had 33 possessions. He's just hungry now.
Can't understand, though, why a teammate wouldn't try and find him with a pass rather than trying to find touch.
Adelaide burst West Coast high score back in '93. Easily eclipsed tonight. Comes to Bickley, the skipper, to Goodwin, to Pittman, who's presented himself on the wing once again. Runs around Schofield, goes inside the 50. Robin going back, also Jakovic. Jakovic reads it the better of the two. Takes a timely mark. Jakovic to the outer side. McIntosh. Waterman. To the lead of Hetty. Recovers well. Great play, Brett Hetty. Really been West Coast best this evening. Kicks it up forward, over the back. Again keeping his feet with McLeod. Either way he could go, but decides to go to the man just on the ground with a swap with Pittman. It's Sean Wren. Sean Wren slips over, makes a meal of it, but the handball is strong enough to find Cook. Cook around the body towards the true centre wing in front of Robert and Jakovic and over the boundary line. 8 minutes to go in the last quarter. 8 long minutes for the West Coast Eagles, Dennis.
No doubt about that, Matt. And that's the reason why. 16-10-4-7, boundary throw in. Wren and Grigic. Hard to say who won that. Bickley probes them well, goes down towards half forward. Jakovic in front, couldn't hang on. Contest given by Robin, forces the ball to spill across the line. Good enough. All very happy with this. Powerhouse performance this by the Adelaide Crows. Kemp waiting down. Vardy, brilliant pickup. Strong tackle by Schofield. And across the line it goes once more.
Well, they're going to be close to premiership favourites after this performance, the Adelaide Crows. They've got a very kind draw as we head towards the finals. You would have to think that they're going to finish 1, 2 or 3.
Well, stumbled at home a couple of weeks back against North. Could have hurt them, but responded tonight coming off that loss last week.
Do they want to be premiership favourites, though? It seems that every time someone becomes favourite, they get beaten.
Only lasts for a week, though, in this competition.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? Mick Malthouse looking on. As we said at three-quarter time, probably resigned to the fact that this game is well and truly gone. Wren, Rashudo, has put his hand up in the last quarter. It's been terrific. To Cook with skill. Around the body. Bond trying to create something, almost did. Blurton hooks it in, has to knock it away. Morrison off the ground. Cook with another chance if he can just pick it up. He can't. Simmons. Too fierce there for Braun. He slips over. Adelaide trying to keep it alive, and West Coast doing the right thing by knocking it out for a boundary throw-in as Matty Robin prepares to come off the ground. Pittman back on. And Adelaide certainly have enjoyed his return to the centre-half forward position. Boundary throw-in inside the West Coast 50. Knocked down. Connell, who's been good all night, comes to Braun. To Morrison. Doesn't stop trying. To the centre wing. Hart and Stone. And Costa sees it over for another boundary throw-in. 75 points. Adelaide playing out time almost.
I'm mulling over these votes. Might have to do it by committee, I think, not committee.
Oh, very good.
No, I wasn't trying for that one. There's Kemp out towards the boundary on the floor. But a couple of the players who would have been right in the chop-up, Smart and McLeod, have spent long periods on the bench as Connell goes to Rashudo. Rashudo having his 30th possession, so you'd have to be thinking about him. Goodwin peels off half-back, goes towards half-forward. Bond missed it. Kemp won. Jarman got him. Held to him, says the umpire. Jarman's had 33. We were talking earlier about a quiet 33 or so, if that's possible. You're not helping me much, boy.
Well, I don't know about quiet. I think he's been quite loud with his game tonight.
Okay, he's got the votes. There's the bounce on the 50. I just needed that. There he is again. That clinches it. He kicks it inside the 50. It wobbles out towards the boundary. Bond met by Schofield. Still they go and across the line.
And just the looking at the total possessions over the game, it's 311 to 263. It's 243. I'm sorry, how's my maths? It's really been domination by Adelaide with 5.5 minutes to go. Over the back towards Bickley. Going in and diving on it was Kemp. Ball up once again.
It's a poor performance, isn't it, when you consider they've kicked 4 goals in almost 4 quarters of football. Of course, Fraser Gehrig suspension has hurt them. He has genuine pace, and that's exactly what they've been missing tonight. The injury to Matera, he went off the ground early. And the West Coast Eagles, when they head back to Subiaco, they really will be licking their wounds tonight.
The ball spills to Rashudo. He's had a terrific last quarter, but I have spoken too soon, I think. And he's just kicked it out of bounds in the fourth. Adelaide by 75. Smart and Robin looking on with Shane Ellen. A very happy Adelaide bench. The kick goes to the outer side. Pack forms. Wren. Grigic over the back. Jarman caught. Can't get free. 2 tacklers in there, and again another bounce down. Dean Kemp, as we mentioned, has played on Darren Jarman. 25 possessions for Kemp, but Fudd with 34. Wren. Simmons. Jakovic. It's been pretty good for the West Coast. To Simmons. Along the boundary. Caven makes great position and takes a very, very good mark. Just pushed his opponent out with a bit of strength to enable the left arm to go up and to control the ball beautifully. Peter Caven. Wobbly old kick, the helicopter dies on the end. Jakovic with the punch. Wren down to ground, paddles it out. Clever kick off the ground by Bickley. Adelaide have a chance here. Great pick up Hart. Jamison probably didn't even know it was coming. He's tackled, holding the ball.
Bit of a smile from Rob Jamison there. It was a good tackle by Matera, because I'm not sure he knew it was coming either. Just latched on. Here's Hetty, hard at the ball. Coming back with a flight of it, Simmons. Jarman again. Another possession, 30 now. The meter is ticking over. Stanfield, good grab. He's on the wing. Sean Wren. Inside the centre square. Terrific performance by the Crows tonight. The West Coast Eagles have been on respect a little lately in some of their defeats. But tonight, the Crows have given them none. Up ahead, there's Modra. Wren, shocking kick. Wobbles towards the pocket. Awkward bounce. Evans gets back and takes it across the line. And by that I mean that I think opposing sides still really give credit to these West Coast Eagles. And they've earned it over the seasons. But in recent weeks, I've got the feeling that those clubs playing against them almost expected to fight back or gave them too much regard, didn't take some chances. Well, tonight, the Crows have really rolled the dice. Away comes Jakovic.
His kick goes high, but only as far as Matty Connell. Connell has got a player loose. The kick just drops short. Chipping in is Chad Morrison. And Morrison, with his 18th possession, kicks to the centre wing, to the lead of Waterman. Hart with a spoil. Is held on to. Nothing coming from Ben Hart, another boundary throw. Ben Hart, who started superbly in the first quarter, really set the tone from the defence with McLeod and Smart. And the tone has been carried on all evening by the Adelaide Crows. Just over 2 minutes remaining. Kemp throws it up in the air, taps it down. Jarman is besieged by the West Coast Eagles and is going nowhere.
Interesting, isn't it? We saw a moment ago Sean Wren having a shot for goal, going for the big talk. There's not many coaches in the AFL at the moment who allow players to kick torpedoes for goal. We saw Robin earlier in the game going for a talk too.
Well, obviously they've got a licence to do so under Coach Malcolm Blight, because he likes to see a bit of flair. And speaking of flair, none better than Jarman with that little give to Cook. Cook to the danger zone in front of the square, coming out Modra, chipping across as Morrison. Morrison is in trouble. Stanfield, if he can pick it up, he can't. It comes to his little give is robbed by Blurton. Blurton switches play, comes looking for Morrison, can't find him. And again it runs in the line, but Darren Jarman is cramping up now.
He's got no reason to cramp, has
Not
he?
at all.
I mean, he would have only had 17 kicks on his left foot.
Just been a terrific performance by Darren.
The other 18 have been on his right.
Throw in, Turnbull, down in 1 on 2, safety the boundary line for Dean Kemp.
The dying moments of the game. They've got the fast start, and then by 25 points at quarter time. Probably should have been more on balance, and they've not looked back. 16-10 to 4-7. Stanfield, sharked by Schofield, taken by Hart, very good game from him. Bond to Wren, tries to go to Modra, ricochets to Stanfield again. Stanfield, strong tackle by Jakovic, good one, and the umpire wants it. Jakovic isn't happy. A competitor to the last, he wanted a free kick for holding the ball.
I think actually McIntosh deserves a pat on the back tonight, given the weight of numbers of possessions the Adelaide Crows have had midfield and the amount of times the ball's been heading in the forward line. He's done a pretty good job tonight on Tony Modra to keep him to 3 goals.
Would have been as much fun as hanging wallpaper down there tonight. Here's Wren, gets it across, Hart pulls it back to the middle. Connell, very good game from him. Connell towards the pocket, ill-directed, and there's a holding decision going against Pittman, and Turnbull will get the free, and we're down to 20 seconds now.
West Coast will run it out. The dying seconds of the game, a game they won't wish to remember. Kemp, Hetty, who's come all the way down to provide an option, back to Kemp, to the outer side. Simmons, will he be run down? No. He's just got no options up forward, and that's the reason why. There's the final siren. Adelaide convincing to the tune of 75 points. 16-10, 106 have defeated the West Coast Eagles, 4 goals, 7-31. From start to finish, Gila, magnificent performance by Adelaide all over the ground.
Well, they set the tone early in the game. They bounced